There we go. Let me pull this up and we'll be good to go here. What is that? Well, something happened to the original intro, but let me do this here. Let me see if this is the same one. Not only am I lagging behind today, but apparently I don't know what's what on my laptop. But anyway,
That happens.
anyway, so we are late today. This time not because of Tim, but because of me. So things happen, and I apologize. And I'll take my whooping later.
That never happens either. Usually it's always me.
Very disappointed in myself. We had to leave the lateness up to Tim, but we got a lot of things going on today. We have Tim and I are going to talk about the episode 1 and 2 of the brand new Disney Marvel Moon Knight series. We have one of the greatest coaches of any sport ever retiring, Coach K from Duke. We have what else we got here? Estelle Harris, for me, most notably, if I can talk today, the mother of George Costanza on the sitcom Seinfeld, and then we also have the passing of Taylor Hawkins, the drummer from the Foo Fighters, and something new with Django Unchained that we can talk about soon. And then there was something else. Something happened last week. It's if you slap me right in my face, I'd probably remember. So, well, you know what? Since that's still burning a little bit in people, I tell you what, we'll hold off on that for a second so we can build that up here. Let me see here. Let me just do this real quick here. I want to talk about, if you don't care,
Sure.
um,
Estelle.
Estella Harris. Yes. For those of you who aren't familiar with her, probably, at least for me anyway, her most notable role for me personally was she was the mother to Jason Alexander, who played George Costanza on Seinfeld here. She was also, let me find it here. She was in what's the Disney movie with the fish? No, she was
Finding
in,
Nemo.
no, she was in Toy Story. Hold on,
Oh, was she?
yeah, I didn't know that until her passing. Let me see if I have that here. Yeah, let me pull this up here. Yeah, Estelle Harris, Seinfeld scene stiller, as it says, and Toy Story series Mrs. Potato Head. Did not know that.
No.
Dies at the age of 93. Yeah, her most memorably, she played George's mother, Estelle Costanza, on Seinfeld, and was the um, indelible voice of Mrs. Potato Head in the Toy Story franchise. She passed away on April the 2nd of natural causes at 93 years old. Her representatives uh, confirmed that with Variety. So, um, very, very sad news. I don't know if you were much of the Seinfeld fan, but I
Love
always like,
Seinfeld.
yeah, her and Jerry Stiller were just the best, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean Jerry. It took me the longest time to realize that Jerry Stiller was actually Ben Stiller's father.
Same thing with me.
I mean,
Same
I
thing with
didn't. I couldn't put two and two together there. I mean, other than the name, they don't look anything alike, really.
no,
But
no. The only time I think Ben Stiller looks like Jerry Stiller was when oh, I think was it what was the Adam Sandler movie with Happy Gilmore, where he was
mhm.
uh the orderly, I believe. I think that's what you
Yeah,
would call him,
yeah.
or the nurse. I believe it's either
Make
one.
the quilts. Make the quilts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Jerry Stiller there, but they they were Jerry and her were um, classic. I mean, the way that they went back and forth and they yelled at each other and screamed, and it wasn't. It was comedic, and also at the same time, it didn't make you cringe. Uh, yeah, it didn't make you cringe. I cringed. I never was a real big fan of Everybody Loves Raymond, but I used to catch it every now and then. But I
She
didn't like
played
the
mom
way.
on that, didn't she?
No,
No.
that was I don't know what her name is, but she. I'm trying to think what else that lady from Everybody Loves Raymond was in, but no, I just didn't like the way that the father spoke to the mother. But on Seinfeld, the bickering and stuff went back and forth, and it was friendly, it was nice, and it was
Now,
delightful, I guess.
Seinfeld, didn't they replace Jerry's dad like after the second season?
No, it was the mom.
It was mom. Okay.
Yeah, it was. I believe it was the mom. You could be right though, but I believe it was the mom.
I thought they replaced one of the parents, which, man, I was always a huge fan of Seinfeld. Loved the show. And then it just recently got added to Netflix, I think. I think it was
Mhm.
Netflix. Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David made had a huge deal on that to add it to Netflix. And what I didn't realize, though, is how much control Jerry and what's his name? I just mentioned it, had control over the show versus the other actors.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point, Jerry made so much more on that show than what the other, but from the rest of the cast did. I mean, to where it was almost disgusting.
Yeah.
And the fact that and the deal that him and Larry David made on it to move the show from syndication to Netflix was even worse than that. I mean, they really just buried the hatchet in the rest of the ensemble, I think.
Well, that's why you see after Seinfeld, where take Friends for example, when their contracts were coming up, they all went in together
Yeah,
as a
that
group.
unity, that unity thing going
Yeah.
on. So,
And said, either give us all the same pay or we're not coming back. And that was, and that kind of set the tone for very successful television shows because even the Big Bang Theory, what they did was I think they went in, and originally it went in together. And then what happened is that when Mayim, however you say her last name, Bilakak,
mhm.
Blossom,
Man,
when her
butchered
character
that one, didn't you?
when her character got bigger, and the other lady with the blonde hair that married Howard, when her character got bigger,
Mhm.
they all took pay cuts so that those two could get their money.
Yeah,
So I thought that was pretty cool.
that's something that Seinfeld definitely did not do. No. Just,
Well, when
yeah.
when you write and when you produce and when the show's named after you, I guess that
I guess you get take all the risk and you get all the benefits and rewards as well.
right,
I guess.
right. But just to show a picture here of Estelle and of course there's the late Jerry Stiller and Jason Alexander. So such a great show. I didn't like it until there was, I think TBS was advertising it,
Mhm.
and it was the episode with where they're at the party and George is eating the chips, and the guy comes up and he says, "Hey, what are you doing?" He says, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "You just double dip the chip." He was like, "What?" He goes, "Took a bite, you dip the chip, and then you put it back in." And I thought that was the funniest thing ever. And from that point, I started watching the show because I thought that was just genius, hilarious.
Now go back to that last picture that you just had with George and his family sitting at the table. What I think is really interesting about that is a lot of times on shows, you have a family together, and of course they're all actors, and none of them are actually related. So they don't really look anything alike. But you gotta say, George and Estella, they look a little bit of a lot. You could actually buy into the fact that she might really be his mom. She looks a lot like him, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe it's the
Yes.
forehead. I don't know, but I mean, I think they look enough alike to where you could actually buy into the fact that he could be really their child.
Yeah. And another thing too with that is they were all about the same height.
Yeah.
So you kind of, when you put families together on television, you kind of want to have them kind of have the same, characteristics,
Yeah.
the what's the word I'm looking for? The same traits, I guess, height and weight and etc. But yeah, she phenomenal actress, and I always thought that she was funny on Seinfeld. So you
And
want
that would
to
have been a great celebrity death match, wouldn't it? Between her and Betty White.
do yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. To we'll do this here so we because we can keep going on and on about what that thing that happened there. The I'd come across this the other day, and actually, what I was doing is that I was looking at upcoming movies, and I came across a Django and Zorro collaboration movie, and what I read is that they meet each other, and Django teams up with him to. Let me see if I can find it here. Don't want to do that. You actually have some comics of that.
Yeah, one of the comments under the post earlier in the week was that I'd read that, and I got to think about, well, I've seen the cover work on it, and that did some research on it. It was a 7-issue miniseries put out between Vertigo, who is producing the Django comics, and Dynamite, who produced the Zorro comics. And 7-issue set. Each issue has multiple covers, multiple artists on it. Some of them get pretty expensive for the harder to find covers. The regular covers are pretty much just dollar books, but it looks super interesting. I think it'd be a great collaboration between the two of them. I haven't had a chance to actually sit down and read the book yet. Now it's been brought up again. I've told a few customers that as I come across the books in my oddball boxes, I'm going to start to definitely pull them out and probably read through it a bit.
Yeah. Well, it says here the plot of the movie is it says several years after the events of Django Unchained, Django meets Don Diego de la Vega, the famed Zorro, and agrees to become his bodyguard on a mission to free the local Aboriginal population from slavery. So I'd read, and let me see if I can find it here, that I don't believe they have the cast yet, and of course Jamie Foxx wants to get back into it.
Right,
and, yeah. So and apparently what's his name? That Quentin Tarantino wants to be a part of it too. But I don't think it wouldn't be Django without Jamie Foxx. I mean, I guess you could pull it off. I mean, but
it wouldn't be Django without Quentin Tarantino writing the script either, which Tarantino did write the book. So, I mean, he's got a very distinct directorial style, and he's got a very distinct, what's the word I'm looking for here? Banter, I guess, within his movies. Which, I think that's what draws a lot of people to the Tarantino movies is the banter between the characters.
Yeah, so. He's very, I guess you would say, verbally violent.
Be a good way of looking at it, yeah.
Verbally violent, yeah.
I mean,
a lot of
Django is just. He's not only verbally violent; his movies are extremely violent on top of everything else too. But yeah.
It was. It took me a couple times to watch it completely just because of the language. And I get the setting in it, but whoa, man, there's a lot of
they don't hold back, do they?
Yeah, a lot of bombs, and I'm not talking about the F-bomb either. So there's a lot of bombs. A lot of bombs, but
they didn't hold back on that one at all.
No. They may have had trying to set a Guinness World Record. I'm not sure.
It's like it's like trying to go back and watch Blazing Saddles.
Yeah,
which is a great movie, great satirical movie, but at the same time, with today's standards, going back and watching it, it's kind of cringeworthy too. It's like, oh God,
yeah,
really? Can we move around this somehow?
Very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Probably. When watching a movie, probably the most uncomfortable I think I've ever been around people was when watching American History X.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable. Certain scenes, the curb scene, and very, very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Speaking of uncomfortable, So a thing happened. What was it, last week? A thing happened.
About 10 days ago, I think.
Yeah, a thing happened, and was it the Oscars?
It was the Oscars.
Okay, because the Grammys was just a couple days ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so at the Oscars, unless you were asleep under a rock or you had you couldn't hear. Because of earwax buildup, or maybe your internet wasn't working. or you had to create a new Facebook for the 8th time
Mm-hmm.
because you can't remember your password and you lost your phone. So the Oscars are going on, and Chris Rock is doing his jokes, and he makes the joke about Jada Pinkett's hair and how he can't wait to see her in G.I. Jane 2. And of course, 2. So anybody who's unfamiliar with G.I. Jane, I don't know why you would be unless you're not a certain age. Even with that, you still should be to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
G.I. Jane, Demi Moore went into was the army. It was the army, wasn't it?
Army, yeah.
Yeah, she shaved her head, did the whole thing, and so, and of course anybody who knows Jada Pinkett Smith knows that she is bald. However, she's bald for a reason. I didn't know this up until the situation happened. So aside from any kind of conversations you've had from Facebook and maybe people, friends that have come into the shop, or maybe you called an uncle down in Florida. I don't know. But your initial reaction was,
when it first happened, it's like, oh, snap. I mean, since we're on live here, snap.
Riley G. Willikers.
And first it was like a total shock. First you're thinking total shock, then you're thinking this is staged. And then it kind of sets in and then when Will Smith starts yelling at him after that, it's like, this isn't staged. There's something actually going on here. And then it wasn't long after Jesse and I watched it. I was like, I said, and I think you and I kind of differ on this somewhat. I thought, Will Smith really messed up there. He regardless of how angry he got about this or how he felt Jada was disrespected anyway, he really went about this the wrong way. He just can't do this. And honestly, my respect level from Chris Rock went up a little bit. My respect level from Will Smith went down a little bit. I've always liked Will Smith. I thought he's a great actor. He seems like always that happy guy. Mm-hmm. And Chris Rock, he's always been like the acidic happy guy, I think. I like watching his stand up. He was great in Fargo, but he's always kind of has that edge to him too. And I think that it wasn't a great joke. I've seen worse jokes on live TV, and I've seen worse jokes in live stand up, and really bad jokes at live stand up. It's like if you're sitting in the front row at live stand up, you're game for anything. And it's like, I just wow, though, total wow.
I initially, like you, I in the beginning when I first saw it, I thought it was staged, and then when he sat down and he began to yell, yeah, I thought, okay, all right, so this is real, and I could also be that he's an actor. I could also see the realness to him saying that. And I thought, okay. As far as the joke goes, my initial thought on it was, it's pretty beat up to say that. And me as a man, I can't say that I would have gotten up and slapped him. I think at best I would have probably stood up and said something from my chair. To prove a point. I honestly think that Will could have made his point from his seat.
I agree. I think as with as witty as Will is, I think there's 100 different ways that Will could have put Chris back in his place by never raising a hand.
Right. And here's the thing too. As a man, I would rather have you hit me with a closed fist than with an open hand. Mm-hmm. Because to me, that and being spat on are the two most disrespectful things that a man can do to another man. Mm-hmm. Kick me in the crotch, hit me with a closed fist, but if you slap me like you're my pimp, or you spit on me, that's a whole nother level. A whole nother level. Now, as I look back on it now, again, I want to say I think that Will could have made his point from his chair just by yelling and screaming, keep my wife's name out your, effing mouth,
Mhm.
and etc. I do think I read something, I don't know how true it is, that Chris Rock didn't actually write the joke. Because here's the thing. I'm sure to a degree some comedians go up there and make their own stuff. But there's also a teleprompter in front of them telling them what to say. So if you kind of go back and look at it, was it really him saying it like he made the joke himself, or someone had written it for him? Because there are, every show, no matter if it's live or if it's scripted, has writers.
Yeah.
So I don't know on that level, but he definitely could have handled it different. I'm with you. I give it to Chris Rock for keeping it professional and not reacting with the same sense of violence. And the way that he carried himself afterwards, I thought was phenomenal. It is sad to see like the clips of him like standing off in the background while the people were getting their awards, and he's got that look on his face like, man, this is really beat up. That's sad.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that or not.
I've seen a few of those, and I wasn't watching the Oscars when it happened. We were watching something else. I happened to flip on Facebook and check something out and saw that on there. So, and I didn't continue to watch the Oscars for that night, but I've seen the photographs of him in the background, kind of like that lost look on his face, like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And you still got to give him kudos for that. And, he handled he acted professionally from the time it happened till the time the show went off. Even from what I've read, his stand-up routines that he's done since then, he's had people kind of trying to bring it up to him. And he's like, no, I'm not ready to talk about this yet. I'll talk about it later in the future, and I'll crack jokes on it, and I'll be serious about it. But I'm not ready to dissect it now out in the open with people.
Yeah.
Which is the way you should handle that. I mean, if he comes off the cuff and says something stupid now or retaliatory now, it just makes the whole situation worse. And it seems like Will Smith has been doing well enough to bury himself on a lot of this, which I hate to see that because he is such a good actor. He's an iconic actor from my youth. And to see this happen and see him react in such a way makes you wonder if there's something else underlying from all this. Who knows? I mean, who knows?
I did read where he resigned from the Academy.
I saw that.
I did see that. I did read they did ask him to leave, and he refused to leave. He should have just left, to be honest with you.
I saw also that Netflix had already he had an upcoming movie with Netflix, and they've already canceled that. So there's going to be some financial fallout for him as well.
Yeah, for hopefully for him, he can just take a little bit of time off and kind of come back under the radar, because that's normally what happens anytime something crazy happens, whether it's drugs and alcohol or some kind of domestic situation. A lot of times it may take a couple of years, and maybe 3 years, 5 years, something like that, but they always seem to come back slowly but surely. I mean, look at Kevin Spacey.
Is he back yet?
I think he's doing smaller stuff, not anything like Blockbuster or anything like that, but he's slowly come back. Mel Gibson slowly come back.
He's come back. Roman Polanski, he's not coming back.
Hold on, somebody's got a comment. Let's see what it is there. Tim says, "What's up? What's up, Tim?
What's up, Tim?
If you can come back like what was it, Robert Wagner, and your wife magically falls off a boat, and me and Christopher Walken, we turned our backs because we saw a pretty bird, and all of a sudden my wife's gone. If you can come back from that, you can come back from anything. So
I mean, even OJ might make a comeback.
Well, I don't know about OJ. The sad thing is on a creepy level, because there's been some time gone since OJ and Nicole Brown. On a creepy level, there is someone out there with a low budget that wants to make a name for themselves that would cast him in something.
OJ?
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah, somebody out there, would cast him in something, because now the problem with that is who's going to pick it up. It might be straight to DVD or something, but I don't know if Netflix or Hulu will pick it up. But
Now there was a clip floating around of OJ giving his opinion on the slap. Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
Saturday Night Live, of course, they took the ball and just ran with it on the week following that, and they had a segment where Keenan was doing a spoof of OJ talking about the slap on the weekend over the weekend update, and I was like, why are they bringing this into this? And then it came out later that there was a 2 or 3 minute clip of OJ giving his opinion over all of it.
Yeah. I think that I think it will boost Chris Rock's career to a degree. I mean, he's already up there anyway. I wouldn't say he's an A-lister by name, and he is a B-lister by what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say production. What credentials maybe?
Yeah, he's have you seen the latest season of Fargo? Fargo, of course, it plays off the movie. It's in like 6 or 7, I think it's 6 seasons. And Tim Steele, of course, is commenting that Tim doesn't like Chris Rock at all. Me and him disagree on that a lot. What he doesn't know is I'll probably set the TV in front of his workstation tomorrow on the
With Chris Rock
back-to-back Chris Rock stand-up specials for him. But back to Fargo, Chris Rock plays it's a serious role. It's a drama. And he nails it. I mean, it's a little hard getting used to him at first because you're used to his comedic roles, and seeing him in a straight role, it's kind of a weird adjustment. And the fact that his looks have changed a little bit in the last few years. He's went from that guy that he looked like a 50-year-old kid,
right?
Now he looks, I don't want to say he looks old, but his cheeks have gotten sharper.
Yeah, his cheeks are a little more adult. He's put some weight on in his face, and he kind of, I mean, you look at, I mean, just think about how quickly time goes by. Look at Dave Chappelle from the Chappelle Show, and look at him now. He looks like Barry Bonds.
He's probably working out.
but if you think about it, though, the Chappelle Show came out in like 2004, so or 2003. So it's been almost 20 years. So that's a lot of time to gain weight. So and get older. But I think Chris Rock will. I think he'll get more attention. But he's as far as movies go, unfortunately, he's kind of like that B slot. And the thing about it is, I'm sure that every time somebody wants to cast him, they want him to be Chris Rock. So I'm sure it's tough for him to get serious roles. I'm sure it is.
Can we just boot Tim Steele off this cast? I mean, he's saying some horrible things here. Chris Rock isn't funny. Dave Chappelle isn't funny. What's wrong with him? What's wrong with Tim right now? Chappelle's funny. Come on.
Yeah, Chappelle's funny. He was kind of in the same boat as Chris Rock in the beginning before the Chappelle Show took off. Doing funny skits like in Robin Hood Men in Tights and Half Baked and things like that. He was always Dave Chappelle. He was always that guy. We don't know what his name is, but he's funny. He was always that guy. But I think Will's going to have to take some time off, and unfortunately, deservedly so. And he's going to have to come back.
What else did I read? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I read somewhere else. Jada has that show, the Red Table Show, whatever, where they discuss whatever. Somewhere I read, and I've read way too much on it, really. I mean, I kind of got sucked into that rabbit hole really easy. And somewhere that they plan on discussing the whole incident over the Red Table Show, which I think is a bad idea because, first of all, Will's got he should have a bad taste in his mouth already from the Red Table Show. And this just adds more to it. It's just like heap, why would you take that as an opportunity to heap as much as you can on someone close to you? But it's their relationship, it's their thing.
And I just want to say this real quick because I'm going to bring up Coach K here. I'd seen a few people on Facebook, and they said they believed that it was staged because they said Where was the security? Here's the thing with security and an event like that. You're Will Smith. You can walk up on stage and do anything that you want to do. When you're of that elite status, Will Smith, Samuel Jackson, just every Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Brad Pitt, whoever. When you're on that level, security is not a concern if you get up out of your chair and go to walk on stage. It's and plus on top of that, when he walked up on stage, it in my eyes, it didn't seem like he walked with like an angry demeanor, I guess is what you would say.
No, but like he charged him. He was like, "Hey, I'm walking up on stage," and
yeah,
Chris Rock says, "Hey, what do you want?"
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Like now, had he jumped up out of his chair and took off running, that probably would have been different. But you're an award show, and you're Will Smith. Security is not concerned with you. Security is not concerned with anyone in the front row. Now, if you're at a concert and some jackwagon jumps up on stage, I mean that's different. If you're if you're doing stand up and somebody jumps up on stage, that's something different. But if that somebody that's in the crowd is a celebrity, security is going to let them go because of the fact that they are a celebrity.
Yeah.
So
you never know what's going to happen. Off the cuff comments, off the cuff responses. No one expects that kind of off the cuff, though.
Good or bad, the producers don't want to miss that moment, whether it's the funniest thing ever or whether, holy cow, did that just happen? They want that on film. They want it on film. So
unfortunately, yeah, I mean that's just going to feed right into Hollywood's machine there a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunately. So this past Monday, the basketball NCAA tournament crowned a new champion. The Kansas Jayhawks defeated the North Carolina Tar Heels to become the 2022 NCAA men's tournament champion. And to be fair, I don't want to exclude them. The women's, I believe it was South Carolina who beat UConn to become champions. So this year, as many sports fans know, whether you watch sports or not, you probably got a taste of it, is the longtime Duke Blue Devils men's basketball head coach, Coach K. I won't even attempt to pronounce his name. Krzyzewski. We'll just go with Coach K. I don't even know how, when you look at his name, I don't even know how one to begin to pronounce it. But Coach K retired from basketball. As coach, they lost to North Carolina in the Final Four. But what's impressive is that I know you said you don't have much on him, but I want to give you this rundown here. Let me pull this up. All right, let me pull it up here. I remember as a kid, man, I just hated Duke. It's just one of those things, Duke started to win in 91. So, 91, I was like 11, 12, something like that. So that's one of your earliest memories of sports is this team that you never heard of. No, why am I going to know where Duke is when you're 11, 12 years old? But anyway, so my first thing that I remember of Duke was them getting steamrolled by UNLV in the I believe it was 1990. They lost by like 30 points. That UNLV team, by the way, had Larry Johnson, Grandmama. You should know Larry Johnson. Played for the Hornets. Yeah. Team was loaded. Greg Anthony, Larry Johnson, Stacey Augmon. Very, very talented team. So let me pull this up here. Let me see if I can find it. So this UNLV team here, you had Larry Johnson in the middle, Stacey Augmon behind him, Greg Anthony in front of him is what you had. But the next year, let me pull up Coach K's accomplishments while he was at Duke. So while Coach K was at Duke, he was the head coach, okay? He 5 national championships, second most all time, 13 Final Fours, as well as 5 in a row from 1988 to 1992. One more than John Wooden. 17 Elite Eights, 26 Sweet 16s, and 9 straight from 1998 to 2006. 36 NCAA tournament berths, 101 NCAA tournament wins, most ever, 14 number one seeds, 28 conference titles, 13 regular season, 15 tournament, 10 of the 13 ACC tournament titles from 1998 through 99, and then through 2010 to 2011. 15 30-win seasons, 36 20-win seasons, number one AP ranking in 17 of the past 28 seasons, 8 Naismith College Player of the Year awards, 9 National Defensive Player of the Year awards, 26 AP All-Americans, 14 consensus first team All-Americans, 11 NBA top 10 picks tied first, 23 NBA draft first round picks, and 1,202 career wins.
That sounds impressive. Don't know much about college basketball at all, but that sounds impressive as hell.
It is. It is. You know, in 1990, they lost to Duke in the championship game. 91, they beat Kansas. There's Grant Hill right there. 92, they beat the Fab Five that had Jalen Rose, Juwan Howard, and Chris Webber, Jimmy King. I can't remember the other kid's name. 94, the Bill Clinton era. They lost to Arkansas. Bill Clinton and his very trustworthy. Was she an aide? Monica an aide? Yeah, is that what she was? Or was an aide?
And that movie's out right now too, or a miniseries. You need to watch that.
1999, they lost to UConn. I believe Richard Hamilton was on that team. 2001, they beat Arizona. They had Gilbert Arenas and Richard Jefferson. 2010, they beat Butler. That was a great series. 2015, they beat Wisconsin. So Coach K, unfortunately, didn't get to ride off in the sunset with another championship. But you know what? He has a lot of. He's very decorated. Has a lot of accomplishments. And
so how old of a guy is he?
Let me see here. Let me see how old Coach K is. I think he's in his 70s, I believe.
So it's not like he's being forced out for any reason. He's just going out because he just had his fill. He's ready to take up fishing or something.
Probably. He was born in 1947, so I'm no mathlete there.
Yeah, he's pretty old.
Yeah. So he attended Army. He played under Bob Knight.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
that kind of brings things into perspective a little bit. So who would you say was the most famous player, the best player that came out of his program?
I would say the best player to come out of his program, it would either be Grant Hill or and I'm not looking at any NBA careers. I'm just looking at the collegiate level. Grant Hill, Jason Williams. Of course, he goes by Jay now. And I would probably say Kyrie Irving would be my top three. Grant Hill, number one. But Jay Williams after that, then probably Kyrie Irving. Another thing too, I forgot to. I don't think I brought it up here. He was an assistant. Of course, I didn't get the picture. An assistant coach on the 1992 Dream Team.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Coach K was. So he had brought. Let me see what the comment is here. He said Bobby Hurley. No, Bobby Hurley's not even close to being no. He's a good college player, but Leitner was better than Hurley. Yeah, he was an assistant coach on the '92 Dream Team. So Leitner, they actually picked Christian Leitner to play. He was the one. He was the lone college player on that team. Leitner was. Everybody else was NBA players.
Yeah, they're all pros.
Yeah. So let me see here. What did we do? So Moon Knight.
Oh.
Let me pull this up here. Okay.
Did you watch episode 2?
I actually just finished it today because I started watching it last night and I had something else to do, and I finished it up today. So I want to ask you, let's start at episode 1. What did you think of episode 1?
I enjoyed it. It seemed to be a lot of character development going on with it. I started reading the Moon Knight books when I was pretty young, probably 10, 8, 9, 10, something in there. Enjoyed them. But I haven't read any of them for quite a while. Then about a year ago, I picked up a graphic novel which centered around the Mr. Knight character more than Moon Knight. You know, when I was reading the first time around, I didn't realize it was a character with multiple personality disorder. I don't think it was really a real key part of the book back then. Not until like this new regeneration of the character in the 2000s here. But watching this guy go through this personality shift and figure out where all his personalities are coming from is really interesting. I mean, now then moving to the second episode, because even the first episode, I'm trying to figure out what's real, what's not real, what's he imagining, what's he actually seeing, how are other people seeing what he's doing, and it's kind of neat. And I'm still really intrigued by the gold man that's on the fountain. You know, who he talks to. I mean, who is this guy? And I've done a little bit of research on it since then. You know, it is a recurring character in the Marvel universe. It's something to do with the story. It's not just a foil for him to talk against.
You know what got me? I thought it was a statue in the beginning. I didn't notice it wasn't until the second episode.
And when first episode when he's talking to him, it's like there's just something here that's weird. He's not just talking to a statue; it's somebody. And I've watched my guilty pleasure is TikTok right now, and I keep watching this one video of these guys. You know, the guys that pull the trick where they float in midair, and one of those guys paints himself gold. And I keep thinking, and as soon as I saw the gold statue of Moon Knight, I'm thinking about this guy that's on this TikTok video because he just paints himself gold and sits in midair and just floats there. And people try to mess with him all the time. He didn't break character. So I'm thinking, as soon as I saw the guy in the fountain, I'm thinking, this is somebody that does that kind of performance art. He just sits there and collects tips for looking like he's fake.
Yeah.
After the second episode, though, absolutely loved it. So can't wait for next Wednesday.
Andrew Hibbert says, "What's up? What's going on, Andrew?"
What's up, Hib? Side note: Hib's been doing some action figure photography. It looks absolutely fantastic. I need to get him on the show one night to highlight some of that work.
Yeah, just message me and we'll get together and put you on display. Not you as a person, you know. You and your talents, your action figures, not your
So what do you think about it?
The first episode I thought was good because here's the thing for me. I know who Moon Knight is, but I don't know him to the degree of, you know, your Spider-Man, X-Men, you know, Avengers, and, you know, all that other stuff. I did have a few comics of his when I was a kid, but I didn't know him in that in depth. So watching the first episode was kind of brand new for me because it gave me more of an idea of what the character is really all about. And I was glad that they're putting it together little by little and allowing people to kind of see the craziness to go with it instead of just bursting onto the scene. I think people were kind of disappointed because they wanted like like action, from the beginning.
Mhm.
And I think too with people is number one, we got spoiled with the Avengers. We're always whenever there's one solo character, everybody's like, "Oh, that was boring and that was slow." Well, there's not 50 people on set, so I thought the character was good. I was laughing to myself when I told you after I watched it that I was struggling with the British accents because uh, yeah, the female, even the females, I can't,
Subtitles, man. It's all
I,
about subtitles.
I know, I know. The second episode I liked it because they brought another character in, and I thought she was cool. And then when she said who she was, I thought, oh, this is going to be great because this is adding more to the character's mystery and him saying, well, uh, this is my name and not this and not that, and without trying to give any spoilers to it. So I thought that was cool. The one thing that kind of trips me out, let me pull this up, is that
How old Ethan Hawke looks.
if no one told me that was Ethan Hawke, I would have never known that was Ethan Hawke. Never known. And he looks so, and he sounds so like the character. He looks wise yet evil. You don't know if he's evil. You don't know if you know what I mean. It does not look like Ethan Hawke at all.
I've been getting some Kevin Bacon vibes off of him. I don't know if it's the long hair or the sharp features or what, but
I really thought it was Kevin Bacon in the beginning, and then I remembered, no, that's not Kevin Bacon. Ethan Hawke's in this show. It's creepy, but it's good. Creepy, but good.
I tell you something about the Moon Knight character is, like in the Marvel Universe, he's kind of a C-tier character. He's shown up in short roles in Avengers, short roles in the Defenders. He's had his own series a few times. The revamp in the 2000s, like I said, brought out a different personality in him. The Mr. Knight, which you saw on episode 2, but he's always been associated like with his first appearance is in Werewolf by Night. So he's always been kind of that creepier, the cult side of Marvel, which I think they're working on bringing that side into the MCU, and they're also working on bringing those C-tier characters up, like the Guardians of the Galaxy were kind of a C-tier team. They weren't your big name team. And it looks like this new wave of Marvel, they're bringing out the Eternals, they're bringing out Moon Knights, they're bringing out the more of the C-tier teams and individuals up into spotlight. There's been a huge amount of Moon Knight's got a big fan base, and his first appearance has been slowly climbing, I'd say, for the last 6 or 7 years. I mean, 6 years ago, you could pick his first appearance up for $200-$300. Now his first appearance in Near Mint, you're going to spend $5,000 or $6,000 on.
Wow, it's crazy.
It just keeps climbing and keeps climbing, and there's a lot of anticipation for this show, and there's a lot of anticipation for him to come into the MCU, and the buyer's market has really reflected that. As close as they've gotten to it, the more that book just keeps climbing and churning its way to becoming I won't say unattainable, but it's hitting the point where it's one of those higher tiered books now.
Yeah,
we had one come to the store first part of the year in probably a 2.0 grade, and it looked like a truck hit it. To be honest with you, it wasn't missing any pieces, but it was well enjoyed, and it sold instantly about $650. I mean, instantly. Now, would have pushed it. I probably could have pushed it for $8. If I'd been selling it right now, even a low grade, I could have pushed probably $1,000 from it.
Goodness.
So it's kind of interesting. And fortunately, Jake, my son Jacob, and one of his roommates has a writing gig for one of the companies online, was able to sit in on a, I guess, pre-taped interview with Oscar Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent him like the first four episodes on a screener. So they've already seen the first 4.
Oh, wow.
They say it just keeps getting better, and just keeps getting better.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Just when Tim, I'm not sure if there will be another Hawkeye season 2. I'm not sure.
No, I have no idea.
Um, here's here's the thing too that I
Andy's right on that one though.
what's that? I know Hawkeye will have a
Uh,
spin called Echo.
Yeah.
I
Sorry,
well,
yeah. Echo, Kingpin, and Daredevil have already been confirmed to have their own series. So, and it'll be the Daredevil from the Netflix series. So that's a good thing.
good. And I'm assuming oh, what's his name? Kingpin.
Vincent Del Farnio, Del
I can tell you what he's been in, but
Caprio.
I can't tell you his name.
Yeah.
He's the original Thor. How about that?
God, yeah.
The original Thor from Adventures in Babysitting. No, I was going to say, for I've had a few friends say, oh, it was slow. They've got to develop the character somehow. It's not like it's not like, here's the thing, you got to a degree you have to cater to the people that aren't so familiar with everything.
Mm-hmm.
because you want to get those people's money too. You want to get those people involved. You want to get those people watching. If you just throw everything out there just for the people that know what's going on, then the people that don't know what's going on don't want to watch it because they don't. Well, how did that happen? Who's this person? This is the opportunity for people to say, okay, I know who that person is because they were in episode 1 and this is in episode 2, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's not like WandaVision where it was almost so slow that I didn't make it through the second episode.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing too with the TV series. It's much easier to want to come back for more when they give it to you 40, 50 minutes at a time.
Mm-hmm.
If they gave it to you all in one movie, you'd probably walk out and say, But other episodes in the series can make up for those early. Because there was a stinker or two in Falcon and Winter Soldier. The whole thing wasn't phenomenal, but there was a stinker or 2 episodes in there. But overall, it was good. But if they crunched that down into a movie, would you have the same feeling about it?
No, I don't think so. I like what Marvel's doing. Marvel and DC are doing, not this. Marvel and Disney are doing with the 6-episode like miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
It gives them time to build up a character development for the C and D tier characters because they're not recognized.
No.
I mean, a lot of those characters are not recognized at all. So they have to take some time to build it up. And you're not paying $14 a ticket or $20 a ticket to go see them in a movie and not know anything about them. You're watching on Disney Plus, and when they come out to a movie, then you already have kind of the background on them. Much like the characters that you grew up with. They're trying to squeeze 20 or 30 or 10 years of character development into into the population, which going on the like all the people that really get bored with it's not action. I think this has to do with people in general now. I mean, it's almost like everyone's ADHD. I think everyone's getting their news in 15, 20, 30 second burst. Their entertainment comes in 1 minute burst, so it all has to come to them at first. I think a lot of people have gotten away from character development. They just want to see it all now and walk away from it.
I mean, that's I mean, you're absolutely right. Everything has to be just bam, 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 bam. I often laugh because I'll post what I think is an interesting story on Facebook. Of course, the key is you got to click on it,
mm-hmm.
open it up and read it. Of course, nobody ever does that. I'll post a video with something that I find might be entertaining or funny. And the key is you got to click on it. You got to make that effort to press that button and click on it. And actually,
I can't do it.
I can't do it. So I'm just going to start making videos of, just me just doing oddball stuff, clipping my toenails or something like that. That way, if someone actually clicks on it,
If you do a video, if you're taking like a suit jacket and press it against yourself 3 or 4 times and bam, you're in it, you'd hit instant stardom.
Yes. Instant stardom. But no, overall, I'm liking Moon Knight. I'm really liking, I like the lead character. I like the guy that plays that. I love the the back and forth between you're a host and I don't know what's going on and who are you, and that's not my name. I love it. Ethan Hawke, I think is just I think he's phenomenal in the role that he's playing. And I'm normally not big on British stuff. And again, I understand that there's captions, but I just can't, I just can't do that here. Before I pay some respect to Taylor Hawkins here, let me I'm going to try it.
Okay.
Without you, here we go. It is the hold on, give me a second. I'm on pluggy here. Hold on.
I'm going to type it as my name here in 2 weeks.
It's not it's not thirsty. It's not Thirsty Thursday.
No. This isn't named after any ex-girlfriends or anything like that. Okay.
Hold on.
Hey, there's a shop somewhere up around Bell Rand. What's it called? Thrifties.
Oh yeah. Okay. So the Thrifty Thursday sale, is that right?
Close enough. Yeah. Thrifty Thursday Facebook sale.
50 Thursday.
Thrifty Thursday Facebook sale.
Here we go. One more time.
Man, I'm making you a shirt with this on it.
Thrifty Thursday Facebook sale. Here we go. Okay.
Right.
And that's an actual page.
It's actual page, yeah.
An actual Facebook page. You can go to it. There's also the Nitro Antique Mall page. He's much better at Moon Knight than he was in Apocalypse. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't realize he played Apocalypse.
What's the Apocalypse in the X-Men Apocalypse? Was that him? I have to check that out.
I don't know. Was it? I don't know. He's under so much makeup. Who could tell?
That movie was terrible anyway.
Yes, and Tim is correct there. There is also the Monday Night Sale, which is the sports corner at the Nitro Antiquer Mall. It is spelled Antiquer. I misspelled it. And Facebook won't allow me to change it for 28 days.
So there is the sports corner at the Nitro, and Tim's bad spelling, Antiquer. He's got 28 more days. He can change it to the correct way. Mall. There's also the third floor comics and collectibles page.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find it here. I think I got it here. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
right.
there it is.
And he's got more than 40,000 back issues. It's actually a couple 100,000.
We're at 40,001 now.
40,001. 3,000 of those is Turok.
Just about.
So real quick before Tim goes, because he's got his thing to do here, I want to pay a little bit of respect to Taylor Hawkins here. He passed away. I haven't really read into if they've got a cause of death, excuse me, but I know that the Foo Fighters did win a Grammy after his passing, so that's pretty special. I tell you real quick because I know you got to go. When I first saw the Foo Fighters, I thought, you know what, this isn't going to last. I mean, Dave Grohl was part of something iconic in Nirvana, and this is the total opposite end of what he was doing with Nirvana. Of course, that probably was the point. But at that time, you had all the goofiness coming out. You had like the late '90s and the early 2000s, and bands were being funny, and you had boy bands, and you thought this isn't going to last. But the Foo Fighters are incredible band.
Yeah,
and Dave Grohl is an incredible musician.
When they came out, and it was Dave Grohl going from Nirvana to that. First time I listened to him, I was kind of put off because I was expecting more Nirvana-esque kind of music, and it definitely wasn't that. It was his own thing. Mm-hmm. And no ill will toward Nirvana, what they did with that. But I think Foo Fighters, he came to his own. He's made a fantastic band with it.
Well, it kind of threw you off when I think their first single was the one where they were making fun of the Mentos commercials. The song is in my head, but I just can't think the title of the song. Learn to Fly. When you first heard Learn to Fly, you're like, that's Dave Grohl from Nirvana. Like, what?
Yeah.
And it just didn't match up. But that was the purpose, I assume, to not try to be what you were, to be your own individual and be your own band. So, all right. So Thursday
Thrifty Thursday Facebook sale.
Thrifty Thursday Facebook.
I thought it was catchy. I thought it'd be easy to remember and say.
I'll have to work on that. I'll get a. We'll have to get a shirt made for me. So, all right. So Tim's got his Thursday sale going on. His Thrifty Thursday Facebook sale going on. Be sure to check that out. Be sure to check out Third Floor Comics and Collectibles Facebook page, the Nitro Antique Mall Facebook page, and the Sports Corner Antiquer Mall for 28 more days. Then it'll be the Antique Mall.
It'll be something else after that point. I'll make up their name for that one. I might have been a little drunk when I was typing that one up.
There you go. All right.
No, I appreciate it, sir.
We'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Okay. See you, everybody.